Alrighty, welcome back to Kimbo's Comfort Kitchen, and today we're doing part 3 of my crab series. The first one we went to the market and I showed you how to pick out a crab, and I showed you how to clean a crab, how to cook a crab so it doesn't turn into rubber. And the second one I made crab cake sliders with bacon. And today we're making shellfish stock. So every time that I have crab or lobster, I end up taking the shells and putting them in the freezer and waiting for a day when I've got time to make stock. And that way I never throw any of the crab away. It's quite good actually. And besides, it's much better than what you buy in the store. So this shellfish stock is unusual. It was a recipe that I got when I first started in the kitchen at Four Seasons over 40 years ago. And it's unusual because it's dark in color. We bake the shells instead of just doing them and sauteing them in the pan like a lot of people do. This is very old-fashioned, very old school. And when you see the result, you're going to say, wow, this is a really dark stock for a fish or seafood or a shellfish stock. And yes, it is. But the flavor profile is amazing, and ultimately I'm going to be using this shellfish stock to make shellfish bisque, which, as we all know, all the basic ingredients, if you got the best to begin with, then you end up with a really great product. If you don't, not so much. So let's get going. I'm going to show you how to make shellfish stock. All right, so before I started with my mise en place, I thought I'd just show you what the grocery list is going to be. We got black peppercorns, tomato paste, garlic, leek, fennel, carrots, celery, onions, tomatoes from my garden. They're about to turn, so this is a perfect time to use them in a stock. No salt chicken stock, which is important. Don't use salted chicken stock. Because as this condenses, of course, so does the salt. So it's important to have no salt. And I've taken out of the freezer my mixture of lobster and crab, as you can see. I've lined them in tin foil for easy cleanup. And I am going to do a very old-fashioned method, which is to bake these. I'm going to bake them at 350 degrees for about, I think 20 minutes to start. It's been a long time since I've made this, so I'm going to check it out and I will let you know what the results are after I have seen how crisp I want them to be. Really nice and browned. Well, I want them to be cooked again and get some browning on them. That's what imparts all the flavor. A lot of people don't do this. They fry them in the pan, which, as far as I'm concerned, it's a cheat. It works, but not very well. And this way you can maximize your flavor on that. And of course I have a big stock pot ready to take all the ingredients in. It's not that complicated, just a lot of ingredients takes time. So I'll be back when I've done all my work. And here you have it. Fine beginnings, as I call it. So everything, as you can see, is rough chop, but not too rough chop. And this will soon be going in the pot once the shells have been baked. Okay, so I was wrong. It's going to take more than 20 minutes, obviously, for me. We get a nice aroma in the kitchen right now, which means it's working. If you can't smell it, it ain't working. But in the meantime, I put the chicken stock in the stock pot, and I added peppercorns, and I added the tomato paste. And I'm going to let them just warm up. I'm not going to start actually cooking anything yet, but this is just like literally a warm up to the main event. All right, so given the size of my kitchen and all of the multiple cameras that I have, I'm just gonna have to trust me. I'm taking these, they've been in for 45 minutes at 350. You can see they're just starting to turn dark. You don't want to burn them, obviously. And they're gonna go right in here. And then I'm gonna put those right in there as well. There we go. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so all the ingredients have now been added, and I added another 20 cups. Yeah, you heard me right. 20 cups of warm water to the warm broth that was already in there. And I know it seems like a lot, but this is a big pot, and I've got 4 lobsters and 2 crabs in here. So it's a fair bit of stock that we're going to be making today, which is great because it freezes amazing. Anything I'm not using for the bisque in the next recipe, I will put in the freezer. So I'm turning this up on high heat, and I have mixed this, and this will be the last time that I'm actually going to stir the pot, literally. Well, in this case, stir the pot, if you know what I mean. You do not want to agitate this once it starts to go. As soon as it comes to a boil, or just before, I'm reducing the heat so that it's going to be on a low simmer. And this is really important. This is a key takeaway. Oops. This is a key takeaway, is to make sure that A, you don't stir it, and B, you don't let it boil up, because it will create a very cloudy stock, and that's not what we're looking for. So in summary, let me see, the chicken stock that I put in initially, you saw 3 liters, but I actually put in 4 liters of chicken stock while you weren't looking. Then I also added another 20 cups, which is 4 cups to a liter, another 5 liters on top of that. And as you can see right now, this is literally coming to a boil. So I've got it on high, and and I know you think I might be belaboring the point here, but as soon as this starts to boil, I am going to put it down to a simmer. And what you see right now is about exactly the type of simmering I'm talking about, without a lid on. And it's very important if you want a really good stock. If you don't care, then don't bother. It's all good. Just mix it in, put in a big shovel, and start stirring around. But if you want a really nice stock, don't do that. And we'll be back. I'm going to let this go for about 20 minutes and then start skimming. Okay, so this has been about half an hour, and this is the perfect simmer right now. You see all the bubbles and the scum coming up top? I'm not going to scrape this off yet, but you get the idea. If you've got this going on, you're doing it right. Okay, so now is the time to start taking off the scum, so to speak. And I'm going to do this every 20 minutes for the next hour. Probably going to have a total of an hour and a half of simmering. And there's going to be a lot more of this coming off each time, as you can see. Okay, thanks. Okay, this has been for almost a total of 2 hours. Now, a lot of people would say that's kind of crazy, but I'm telling you, the result at the end of the day in this stock will prove itself out. So at this point, I've turned the heat off, and I'm going to start to skim very carefully the shells out and put them into my strainer. And once that's all gone, then I'll come back in a second. So here we are afterwards. I've taken out all the big particulates, the shells, and now we're down to this, which is about half of what we started with. I think we were at 13 liters, and I think we're at 7 now. And now I'm going to do another strain, because I'm going to triple strain this. So it's going to go from here, and it's going to go into there. And then when we're finished that, I'm going to do one more afterwards with cheesecloth. So this is the third strain, which I'm taking from our pots and putting back into the stock pot. And we've got a lot of it, but I'm just a little OCD, I guess, when it comes to this. And then I've got another pot, which I'm going to let drain into here. And that'll be the third one, and I'll show you the result. In case you're wondering, this is what the third strain looks like and what we've captured from this. So I'll show you what it looks like as a finished product in just a second. All right, so here's the moment of reckoning. This is a shellfish stock, and I guarantee you've never seen one this dark before. But this is the color of patience. And I'm telling you right now, I've already tasted it. This is going to be the base for an amazing, I mean amazing bisque. It's pretty clear. It hasn't settled, but there's no particulates in it. The flavor profile on this is just absolutely stunning, even if I say so myself. So I'm going to be using this one for my next recipe, which is going to be a shellfish bisque. I would normally say lobster or crab, but I've got both in there, so it's going to be shellfish bisque. And stay tuned, because it's going to be fun. Kimbo's Comfort Kitchen, If you like it, hit like. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Thank you very much for your support. I really appreciate it. Talk to you soon.